Hi everyone, welcome to Weird Wolf Games. I'm going to talk you through my new Custodes army. It's brand new to me. Well, I say brand new, I've obviously been painting it for a few months now. So I'm going to talk you through it, explain what I've got, why I got it, and we'll go through it from there. So first up is your battle line unit, which is the Custode Guard. These guys are toughness 6. And as you'll find with most things in this army, have a 2-up save and a 4-up invuln, which is obviously their main strength, because this is actually here is about 2,500 points. So you don't get a lot of models for what you see in front of you, but they're all very tough and they hit quite hard. So on the Custodian Guards, they've got the Guardian Spear, which is an assault weapon for range. That's 2 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 4, -1 AP and 2 damage. That's these guys here. I've also got one with the Venthyr, which is add 1 to the objective controls of the bearer's units. So as long as they're with that, they get an extra 1 OC. Each of the models is 2 OC, so quite a good buff depending on the scenario you're in if you're trying to get those primary objectives to score your points. In melee combat though, they've got 5 attacks with the Guardian Spear, hitting on 2, strength 7, -2 AP, 2 damage a pop. So really not to be messed with, can dish out a lot of damage to, even Terminators and such, so a very good model. The thing with this faction, they have a martial Qatar, or Qatar, however you want to pronounce it, and that basically means they can change their stance at the start of every turn of combat. Now you can only do it there's a rule for one of the models where he can change his own, but the rest have to stay with one stance for the whole army in that combat phase. And those either give you sustain hits 1, lethal hits, or reduce damage by 1. So depending on the situation you're in melee combat, you can kind of really give yourself a nice edge across the whole army. So these guys have Sentinel Storm, so once per battle in your shooting phase after this unit is shot, it can shoot again, which is really nice, but it's only once per battle. And Stand Vigil, each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. While this unit's in range of an objective marker, you can reroll the wound roll instead. So again, very good if you're holding an objective and you're in melee. That's the Custodian Guard. The Adeptus Custodians, which are this unit of 6 up front here, they are essentially like Custodian Terminators, if you like, very, very tough, toughness 7. Again, 2-up saves, 4 wounds each, with an OC of 2. They have a grenade launcher each, and the Guardian Spear. The grenade launcher is an 18-inch range, D6 shots, hits on 2, strength 4, -1 AP, 1 damage. The Guardian Spear is, again, 2 shots, hitting on 2s, strength 4, -1, 2 damage. So quite a few shots going in, and they were generally going to be hitting, although I do roll a lot of 1s, so let's see how that goes. When they get in melee combat, it's 5 attacks each, hitting on 2s, strength 7, -2, 2 damage. Abilities-wise, they have Slayers of the Tyrant, so each time a model in this unit makes an attack against a character, monster or vehicle, you can re-roll the wound rolls. From Golden Light, once per battle at the end of your opponent's turn, if this unit is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, you can remove it from the battlefield, and then in the reinforcement step of your next movement phase, set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from the model. So that's really good. So if you get in a little bit of trouble or you out of position, you can quickly pick them up and bring them back somewhere else. So that's the Custodians. Next we have the Witch Seekers, which are kind of like your more disposable, cheaper unit. I've set these all up with flamers because I want them to sit on objectives, and anything appears, they're just going to flame it to death in Overwatch. These are anti-psyker as well, so they have a thing called Daughters of the Abyss. So models in you have a Feel No Pain 3-up against psychic attacks. So any psychic attacks, you can hopefully do 3-up saves. Sanctified Flames. Each time this unit shoots after it's shot, select one enemy unit is hit by 1 or more of those attacks, and they have to take a battle shock test. So again, if you've hit them on the charge, they've come in and then they're trying to out-OC you and they fail the battle shock, you get to control. Their Flamer is a 12-inch range with D6 shots, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. So not great, but you're getting, if you get enough shots in there out of a unit of 10, you might be able to do some damage. They're only T3, they have a 3-up save, and they're only 1 wound each. So they're quite a disposable unit, but hopefully they can cause a little havoc on the Overwatch. Then we have Shield Captain. Now the Shield Captain here is part of the Guard unit here at the front. Shield Captains are, they give you a free stratagem for 0 CP, which is not too bad and quite useful. So you can only, choose from a smaller list with this rule, but it's decent. Master of Stances, so at the start of the fight phase, they can pick their own stance. So rather than having to take the full army, if they're involved in a slightly different tactical conundrum, you can then put that stance in instead. He has the Axe, which is 2 attacks, hits on 2, strength 4, -1 for ranged, and then it's 6 attacks in melee, hitting on 3s, strength 9, -1 AP, 3 damage. So, a couple of those go through, you're taking out good few models of the Shield Captain. Quite excited by what he can do. We also have a Shield Captain on a Dawn Eagle jet bike, which is the guy in the middle down here at the front. These jet bikes are great. Movement 12, T6, 2-up saves, 4-up invulns, 7 wounds. So they have the Hurricane Bolters. They have 2 of these. So essentially it's 6 attacks, but they're rapid fire 3. They are twin linked as well. So even though they're only strength 4 with no AP, damage 1, you should be able to get a few wounds out of that. In the melee though, they've got Lance. So they attack 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 7, but with Lance, obviously, you're wounding on on 1 less, and AP -2, 2 damage. They also have sweeping advance in their abilities. So this means when they consolidate, they can move 6 instead of 3. If this model's unit is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, it can fall back as if it was your movement phase. If it's not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, it can make a normal move as if it was your movement phase. So quite cool with that one. Strategic Mastery, 0 CP stratagems as well to his unit of bikes. The bikes themselves, same weapons, Hurricane Launcher and Lance, just 1 less attack on the melee for the Lance than the Shield Captain. They also have 4 wounds rather than the 7 for the standard bike. Turbo boost, so each time it advances, you don't have to make an advance roll. You can just move 6. But the salvo Hurricane bolts aren't assault, so it's kind of like you trade out there where you're not able to shoot unless you've got a stratagem to make them assault. Quicksilver Execution, so once per battle after this unit ends an advance or move, you can select 1 enemy unit, excluding a monster or a vehicle, that you moved over, and during that move, roll 1d6 for each model in that unit. For each 2-up, that enemy unit suffers 2 mortal wounds, which is unbelievable. So you're going over it on 2s for each dice, so you're pretty much guaranteed 2 mortal wounds across a huge swathe of troops. So it's some really deadly, nasty stuff. Next we've got Trajan Valorous up here at the front, who's the Warlord of this particular army. He is toughness 6, 2-up save, 4-up invuln. He's leadership 5 with 7 wounds. He has the Watcher's Axe, which is assault. 2 shots, hitting on 2, strength 5, -2, 3 damage each though, so it's pretty strong, his Watcher's Axe. For melee, it's 6 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 10, -2, 3 damage each. Now the interesting thing on this one is that you have a moment of shackle. So once per turn, at the start of the fight phase, you can select one of the following to take effect until the end of the phase, which is this model Watcher's Axe melee weapon has an attacks characteristics of 12, so you can double the amount of attacks going in. So you can imagine him with 12 attacks against 10 Terminators, hitting on 2s, he's going to be wounding on 3s with 2 damage, 3 damage each, so you can take out 1 with each one that's successful attack. You can also give him a 2-up invuln for 1 phase, or have the fight first ability for anybody that's in his unit he's got with him. So he's pretty horrible, especially for that 1 turn you activate that. So you've got to try and make the most of it. So if you roll a bunch of 1s, you're going to be gutted. Next up, we have the Land Raider. Pretty much standard Land Raider, same as all of the others near enough. 10-inch movement, toughness 12, 16 wounds, 2 up save, no invuln. Has an OC of 5. It has the Godhammer las cannon, which is 2 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 12, -3, and d6 +1 damage. Has a hunter killer missile, and then a storm bolter, or twin heavy bolter, sorry, on this particular one at the front, which is just 3 attacks, but twin linked with sustain hits 1. It has assault ramp, so when a unit exits, they can then also make a normal move, and that is, sorry, not a normal move, they can declare a charge. I apologise on that one. Last up, we have our Forge Wed models, which I have to go back to my phone. So you have the Contemptor Achilles Dreadnaught. He is this guy here with the sword and the shield. He has a 5 up invuln. For some reason compared to the rest of the 2 up save. It's 10 wounds, toughness 9. He has a, oh sorry, it's this guy, not the guy with the shield, it's this guy with the dread spear. He's a 12-inch range on that spear, which hits onto strength 9, -2, 3 damage. He also, his melee, which is where he's probably more scary, is 5 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 12, -2, d6 +1 damage with lance. So again, on the charge, really horrible stuff. Dread Foe is his ability. So each time this model is selected to fight, you can select one enemy unit within engagement range of it and roll 1d6, adding 2 to the result. If that model made a charge, if he made a charge this turn on a 4 or 5, that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 6 up, they suffer 3 mortal wounds. So it's a really good way of just, again, if you're charging a bunch of Terminators, you're adding 2 to the roll, you get that 5 or 6. You're taking 1 out without having to do anything. So he's very good. The next Dreadnaught here, again with the shield, is Contemptor Glatus Dreadnaught. Oh, terrible names these. Galatus Dreadnaught, sorry. Exactly the same stats, T9, 2 up save, 10 wounds as the other one. He has a 4 up invuln though because of his shield. Range weapons, he has the War Blade, which essentially has flamers on his blade. So he gets 2d6 because he's got 2 flamers on it. So it's 2d6, strength 6 -1 with 1 damage, and they're twin linked. Melee weapons, he has his War Blade for 8 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 8, -2 and 3 damage. And he has the shield. So each time a melee attack targets that model, you subtract 1 from the wound roll. So he gets a little bit extra for his shield as well. And the last model to talk about, sorry, 2 more different units to talk about, I apologise, are the Venthyr Custodians. Now these are the jumpy guys here with the wings. I mainly bought them because they're cool and I like them. So they have a 10-inch move, toughness 6, 2 up save, 3 wounds. They have a 4 up invuln. They have the lance for Venthyr Lance, which gets 2 shots. It is assault, so you can advance and shoot that one. 2 up, so you hit on 2s, strength 4, -1 AP, 2 damage each with those, which is pretty good. And then again, very good in melee, 5 attacks each, hitting on 2, strength 7, -2 and 2 damage with lance as well. They have the ability for strike from the skies, so they can shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which they fell back. Swooping dive, and once per battle you can target this unit with a rapid ingress for 0 CP, so they can come in at the end of your opponent's movement phase. And the last model in here is one that doesn't have rules. This guy here is a Forge World special model. Now I'm hoping at some point they're going to give him some special rules because he's kind of neat, but he can also, stand in for any of your shield captains or heroes. He's on the same base size. So I might deploy him as a more flexible model, but when he gets some rules, hopefully that will be great. We'll look out for those when they release the next codex for the Custodes, which I think is coming next year. Anyway, so that's it. That's my list. We're going to get them out on a game on the channel. Hopefully everybody enjoys it. I'm going to make a ton of mistakes, as I always do with this. So feedback if I've missed anything. I'm not even sure if this is a good selection of list, if I've got the right models. So it's something I'm definitely probably going to add to. I really like the tanks. I see a lot of people use the tanks. So don't be surprised if you see a few models added to this in the new year. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and give us your feedback on the channel. Thanks very much, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.